So apparently, Captain America, a brave new disaster. It seems like the critical drinkers here are already on the path for hate for this specific rendition.
I mean,
I am a firm believer that the original 10 years of Marvel was the pinnacle and peak of superhero films. And you can disagree with me if you'd like to. But I think that replacing Captain America with a different Captain America character, or replacing Spider-Man, or replacing Iron Man, or doing, I just didn't think it was a good idea to begin with. I think that we just let sleeping dogs lie, and that we don't try to re-envision all of these movies and just replay them over and over again. Like, let's move on to something else. Let's have a different era of Star Wars that doesn't have anything to do with Skywalker. So I guess we'll see what the hatred of this is all about.
Point near the end of Brave New World, Sam Wilson uses Captain America's shield, Ant-Man's helmet, and Falcon's wings made from Black Panther's vibranium to fight a not-so-incredible Red Hulk. And so, for the purposes of this review, I'm going to refer to him as Captain Black Ant Falcon Man from now on. Partly because there's only ever going to be one Captain America for me, and that's Steve Rogers, but mostly because I can't think of a more fitting metaphor for what this movie is. A jumbled mishmash of different ideas and storylines ripped off from other, better Marvel characters and films. A movie that's clearly been hacked to
that's what we're going to continue to see from this Disney universe. They're going to keep milking it for the money, and they really don't care what they screw up in the process. I mean, we've seen it. Like, don't get me wrong, I really like the character that replaced Captain America in this, but at the end of the day, they're just kind of replaying, rehashing these things that people kind of just don't want to see. We want to see something new and fresh. We want a new direction at this. We don't want to watch the same movie with a different skin on it. Like, you have to put in more effort than that.
Pieces and reassembled more times than Frankenstein's monster, complete with all the boring played out tropes you'd expect from an MCU that's been drifting rudderless for the past 5 years. A bunch of characters and subplots that go absolutely nowhere, and that doesn't seem to know what it is, and more importantly, why it even exists. And having spent 2 hours slogging my way through it, I can't really tell you either. In short, Captain Black Ant Falcon Man Brave New World is everything we feared it would be.
Who is that?
A bloated,
who wants to watch
overblown,
that?
inconsistent mess. Anyway, I don't want to have to waste any more time talking about this than I have to, so without further ado...
Let's get this over quickly.
Oh yeah, baby.
The movie
Who
centers
is that?
around the fight for control.
Who is that except for the original Blade? Now, see, that's something I can get behind because that was a good series, and I am excited for that to come back. Oh my goodness.
The Celestial that exploded out of the Indian Ocean in the Eternals.
That and Spawn. Spawn was another one. We needed more Spawn in our life.
I mean, it's only taken them like 5 years to address this gigantic plot hole, but whatever. Better late than never, I guess. Anyway, because the Celestial's body...
Oh yeah, and Constantine. Who did enjoy the Constantine movies with Keanu Reeves? Like, come on, let's get back to that era. Let's do more of those. We have the space for it now.
Contains enormous reserves of adamantium, a mineral which is even more invincible than vibranium. Oh, does someone not have a monopoly on the world's most valuable resource now? Pass me the world's smallest fucking violin. There's now a bit of a gold rush to claim ownership.
Yeah, the first Black Panther was awesome. The rest of the Black Panthers was, it's more like Black Pander. It's more like Black Pander than Panther because honestly, like half of the movie is just so boring and unmemorable. It wasn't good. The first movie was amazing. I really liked it. And then the actor that played the Black Panther passed away, and that was really sad. And it kind of put like a huge damper on the entire series.
Of it, spearheaded by General Ross, who's now been promoted to President of the United States. His goal is to sign an agreement with Japan to share access to the Celestial, and the two countries are close to making a deal. Unfortunately, it all goes tits up during a White House dinner when Isaiah Bradley gets an attack of the Galloping Crazies and tries to assassinate him, only to forget the whole thing after he's captured. Captain Black Ant Falcon Man believes that he was mind-controlled into attacking Ross, and he's determined to clear his name, so he begins his own investigation that soon leads him to a classified black...
We did that with Bucky already. We've already done it. We don't need another mind control thing.
Site where he conveniently runs into Giant Brain Man, a test subject exposed to gamma radiation that caused him to get super smart, which Ross then exploited for his own personal gain. Oh yeah, and this small child shows up for like 5 minutes to give us the obligatory girl boss moment and then basically does nothing for the rest of the movie. You've often heard me joke about petite actresses beating the shit out of guys twice their size, but in this case, it's literally true. If
What
she's
was
more than
that?
5 feet tall and weighs more than 90 pounds, I would be fucking shocked. But don't worry, I'll talk more about her later. Believe that! Anyway, Giant
any
Brain
of
Man
y'all see this
engineered the
movie?
whole thing
Did
to
y'all
provoke
enjoy
a
it?
war between America and Japan, and with the two opposing battle fleets closing in on the Celestial, Captain Black Ant Falcon Man races to the scene
do
to
love
stop
me
them.
some good
Jesus, as
cherry
if
blossoms.
Japan would even think about challenging the US military for control of anything.
It's true. That makes no sense. Japan's kind of America's bitch.
So Captain
And it
Black
has been since that one thing happened in those two cities.
Ant Falcon Man is able to defuse the situation by strategically kicking missiles out of the air, and then everyone goes home and Ross gives a speech to celebrate, but then it turns out that the heart attack pills he's been taking the whole movie are actually gamma radiation pills, which Giant Brain Man uses to turn him into Red Hulk.
Right.
And yes, I'm being absolutely serious with this. Then there's a bit of a fight which destroys the White House, and Captain Black Ant Falcon Man asks him to stop being the Hulk because the writers couldn't think of any other way to get out of it. So he turns
Polari, thank you for the follow, buddy. Thank you so much for being here.
back into Harrison Ford, and then everyone goes home. And that's it. That's the plot for Captain Black Ant Falcon Man Brave New Worlds. You know, when I think about the tortuous production process this movie had, all the rewrites and reshoots that it went through, it's actually hard to imagine what Brave New World even started out as. I mean, the overall tone is vaguely in line with Winter Soldier. There was clearly an attempt to ground it in
That's the vibe I got. Winter Soldier vibes, absolutely. Like, it's basically just a rewrite of that. I mean, with a different skin on it. I really don't like that there's all this BS where it's just people rewriting the same thing. We get to watch the same movie, but we pay like $20 to $30 of it because we have to get our snacks. Of course, it's going to be more expensive. We need some snacks.
something resembling reality.
Thanks, Unseen Service 45. Thank you for the follow. You're the best. Welcome.
With all the government conspiracies, classified projects, black ops missions, and the looming threat of global war. The problem is, it also has to work in ridiculous bullshit like the continent-sized Celestial sticking out of the ocean and the Red Hulk, and those elements go
Oh,
together
yeah.
about as well as intersectional feminism and reason, logic, and personal accountability.
What the hell is intersectional feminism? That sounds made up.
You can't take the themes and emotional tone of the Eternals and Winter Soldier and mash them together in one movie and expect it to make sense.
I
And
said,
as
hold my beer. Watch me mash these two movies together. We're gonna make millions.
always, the devil is definitely in the detail here. First up, there's the antagonist. Instead of an understandable villain trying to bring about world peace by eliminating everyone who could oppose his agenda, furthering the movie's central theme of security versus freedom in Winter Soldier, we've instead got just another generic supervillain out for revenge. His motives and ultimate
weak.
goals are as bare bones as the
His superpower is that he's really smart, you guys. He's really, really smart, and he's greenish. That's his superpower. Welcome to the new Marvel Universe.
withered husk that was once Ariana Grande, and as much as we're constantly told that he's some genius biological computer who knows what you're gonna do weeks before you do it, his actions in the movie absolutely don't bear this out. He's constantly proven wrong.
It's giving me law-abiding citizen vibes, where like he just kind of knows everything that's going to happen before it happens, and he just pre-planned everything. It's kind of been done.
And outsmarted by Captain Black Ant Falcon Man, and by the end of the film he just kind of gives up and calls it a day. Again, the maxim that a character is only as smart as their writer remains undefeated. By all accounts, not only was this film reshot multiple times, but the runtime was also drastically cut back at the 11th hour, which probably explains why characters like Giant Brain Man get so little development.
Well, good. I mean, it's just less pandering garbage for you to sit down and watch that in the movie theater.
It's all been left on the cutting room floor. It's the same story with Giancarlo Esposito, who the trailers played up as some criminal mastermind that was going to test Captain Black Ant Falcon Man to his limits. In reality, he's
Captain
just
Black Ant Falcon Man. What a great title.
a basic bitch hired gun who appears in like 3 scenes, and watching a not particularly fit man in his mid-60s trying to hold his own in a fight against Anthony Mackie just made me feel embarrassed for both actors. Mackie himself does his best with the wildly inconsistent material he's got to work with. His basic character arc is similar to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, a man conflicted about who he's working for and unsure about whether he's the right guy for the job. In the hands of better writers, and assuming it hadn't already been done in a TV show already.
My goodness, you guys are just popping off with the follows today. Fraught Paradise Parish 79, thank you for the follow. Dreadful Kite, thank you so much for the follow. And Got a Star, that is a cool name. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. We're going to watch YouTube videos. We're going to make a huge change in the world. But really, actually, we're just going to watch YouTube videos. So here we go.
The story of a successor struggling to fill the hole left by a legendary hero and find his own path forward might have made for a decent character arc. Here though, it just feels forced and repetitive, trying to manufacture a character conflict that's already been resolved, and loading him down with ridiculous levels of technology that can do almost anything makes him feel more like Iron Man than Captain.
Yeah, there's no way, if you know anything about the lore of Marvel, that the Red Hulk would have even a split second of an issue absolutely destroying the new Captain America. It's just not going to happen. I mean, like, look, like we could literally look up the power ranking. What is the power ranking for the Red Hulk? I know the Red Hulk's up there, like really far up there. Let's see. I know there's a specific power ranking for this. How powerful is Red Hulk? 10 best Red Hulk powers. Red Hulk character level. Tier 4B. I don't know what that means. 25 strongest Hulks in the comics ranked. I'm pretty sure he's like number 1. Spider Hulk's 25. Are you going to make me go all the way down to the bottom, aren't you? Okay. So number 1 is Breaker of Worlds. The Immortal Hulk. Let's see, where is he? Immortal Hulk is then Worldbreaker Hulk. So basically say Blue Hulk and Titan Hulk. What is that? Where is he? Red Hulk's 8. Defeated the Watcher with 1 punch. Hulk number 1. General Thunderbolt Ross. Yeah, so it's not even the same character that plays. It's not Bruce Banner. It's a completely different person that is the Hulk. I wonder if they actually put that in there.
In America,
as a part of
like
the lore.
if you're going to turn him into something that
matters.
doesn't even vaguely resemble the hero he's replacing, then why even call him Captain America in the first place?
That's my whole point. Why call him Captain America? Just make him the Falcon Man, you know? Make him that guy. He can be that guy. He can be fine being that guy.
There's the small child pretending to be a secret agent whose name I totally forget because it's only mentioned like once in passing. A character who I guess once had a much bigger role in this film, kind of like Natasha in Winter Soldier, only definitely not as hot. But as it stands, I've got no idea how I'm supposed to feel about her because there's really nothing to like or dislike here. She barely even has any dialogue, never mind a personality or character arc. And if I was a cynical man, I'd say that her Israeli background might have had something to do with it. Likewise, the totally implausible David and Goliath war between America and Japan, when China would have been a much more plausible rival. But then again,
but then you would actually have to like defeat China in a war, and that's actually going to cause some political backlash between China and America. Not that it matters, but it will, and it's not going to be a good look. So we chose Japan because they're obviously our ally, and there's nothing bad that could come of this because honestly, Japan can't really do anything about anything at this point.
And one of Disney's biggest potential markets now, would we? And I guess that's the fundamental
that's another
problem
thing, isn't it? You're going to piss off the Chinese market? Chinese love superheroes. Everyone loves superheroes. And if China decides to ban superhero movies, they're going to lose a lot of money. So we're actually pandering to China by choosing Japan.
Your storytelling philosophy is basically, let's push whatever ideas are current, safe, focus group tested, and politically correct. Sometimes the culture and the politics shift
I just like that we did a Marvel and Indiana Jones mashup film. It's
quicker
pretty
than
cool.
your films can catch up to them, and the more you scramble to rewrite and reshape them, the more you hollow out their artistic integrity until there's basically nothing left. And that's what Brave New World really is when you get right down to it. An empty shell, superficially big and bombastic, but with no real meaning or creative intent behind it, awkwardly stitched together out of pieces from other more successful films, and feeling like it's got no particular reason to exist. I get the impression that nobody's been especially excited for this one in the run-up to release, least of all
Honestly, like, I didn't even know it existed. I'm not one to go out and watch movies or go to the theater to watch a movie or anything, but like, it's not very surprising to me that this wouldn't be received well, because you're basically just kind of like trying to swap out one for another with a little segue and pretend like nobody's going to care about that. And then you're going to mash together previous storylines into a new storyline. And then you're just going to kind of like take little pieces from different buckets from things that have already been done. And you're going to piece them together like it's some kind of, what is that, ad lib? Where you just kind of pick an adjective, pick a noun, pick a verb, and then plug it into these sentences, and then you make something funny out of it. That's basically what they're doing here.
Marvel themselves, and now that I've seen it, I can definitely understand why. Do yourself a favour, save the ridiculous ticket price, and do something more rewarding with your time instead. Like a giant turds.
See, this is like why piracy exists, because people want to be entertained, but they don't want to give money to things that suck, so they can possibly be able to get something that's good later on. It's like if you pay them, you're telling them, hey, we like it. And if you don't pay them, then it's like saying, hey, do better. And we really need them to do better. We really do. And I feel like they're trying. I really do feel like they're trying. I just don't think that they are trying enough.